Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Munchkin Forever. Today we're doing Munchkin Pathfinder 3 Adventures, a quick little review of this game. As always, we're going to roll and see if we get in the bad stuff. Ooh, number 6. That is a fire from the Fire and Dice store in Valley Stream, New York. That is a 6, actually. And I get the hell away from all that bad stuff. And this is not a loaded die. This is a Fire and Dice die. And Fire and Dice is a pretty fun store to go to if you want to play some Magic, or you want to pick up some cards, or you want to get some comics. It's pretty cool. And we're not sponsored. I'm just saying it's fun. That's totally where I discovered this game from. Alright, so today I have some of my favorite dungeons and cards from this pack. Overall, I was kind of disappointed in this pack, but some of these cards I could definitely see me taking and using in another variant or anything like that of Munchkin, you know? So, I'll show you what I would take from this pack. Tyrant's Grasp. The Whispering Tyrant returns. To pass a notice, the Munchkins must also whisper. Any player who speaks in a normal tone of voice or louder loses a level. So Tyrant's Grasp is pretty fun, and it's definitely in line with the humor of this game. Kingmaker. To reach level 10, a player must have help in combat. The helper also wins. If no one will help you, you must run away. For a long time, elves can help in combat, and people were kind of like, oh, I wish that I could win with the level 10 player. Well, this card makes it possible, so combine it with some elves, maybe. Or add some little rules about that maybe only the elf can use it, or I don't know. Whatever you want to do. This is a fun card, regardless. Iron Gods. When you are in combat, you may give yourself +5 once per combat by reciting a quote from a science fiction TV show or movie. You may not use the same show or movie as someone else. And if someone challenges you and your quote was not exactly right, you have -5 instead. But if it was correct, your bonus becomes +10. Like, for instance, Luke, I am your father. That's not the line. It's no, I am your father. I believe that is. If it isn't, it's going to be a lot against me. Oh, and if somebody doubts it, then you have an even higher bonus. It's such a nerd card. It should be called the Nerd Gods. All right, Iron Fang Invasion. Double the level of all goblins. Good luck. And since, if you've seen my other review about how many goblins are in the new pack that came out and the game itself, that's a lot of that actually could be a challenge. Shattered Star. In this dungeon, a Munchkin who has 7 one-shots in play wins the game immediately. So, just like a Apocalypse Munchkin, this is a perfect reason why sometimes you just want to hold on to everything. Not that you don't do that already. Curse of the Crimson Throne. Queen Iliolisa Arabasti has cursed her land. If you find a curse when you kick down the door, you may play it on someone else after resolving its effects on you. If you are a witch, you may redirect the curse without suffering its effects. I really like this card, and I also really love the witch class. As for some of my other favorite cards in this deck, since pretty much what we have is just portals left, I guess these are some of my favorite portal cards. We have this nice little skull gate. It's called an Eoxian Gate. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but I really don't care. Discard all dungeon cards in play and draw a new one to replace them. In your next fight, the first monster counts as undead if it's not already. Keep this as a reminder until then. This is why I play the game before I review it. Undead monsters actually we had some issues with undead monsters. They actually had some bonuses. So, for a long time I've said, oh, undead, you don't really have to worry about these little effects with them. Well, that actually turned out to be something else. But I just like the way the card looks. I'm telling you, there's a reason why I'm not giving this pack a great review. Addition change. Draw a new dungeon card and put it into play. Its effects add to those of the dungeons you are in now. So this happened too in the game. Basically, you're in 2 dungeons now. Then, starting with the player who played this portal, each player may discard any number of cards from their hand and draw the same number of replacements from either deck. Campaign downtime. Until the start of your next turn, turn all dungeons face down and ignore their effects. No one may play portals during downtime. Anyone who kicks down the door and finds a portal may put it in their hand for later, use, and turn over another door card. So basically, you know, it gives you a breather. It just stops the craziness of dungeons. Valley of the Pyramids. Draw a new dungeon card and put it into play. Its effects add to those of the dungeons you are in now, so same thing as the other one. After you have done this and resolved any immediate effects, draw a face-down treasure, you grave robber. So that's a little bit nicer than the other one, perhaps. You get a treasure, unless you really need to change out your cards. So anyway, overall, I love these dungeons. Like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was right in my head. It is 6 dungeons. 6 dungeons that I'd like and I would use in different versions of Munchkin, definitely. Like, why not? Maybe you can't use the goblin ones unless you bring some goblin along, you know, this Iron Fang invasion card. But other than that, you know, overall, I didn't necessarily need the pack, so I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. And I know what you're saying, we still have cards on the table. Well, usually I don't review all the cards, but I guess today, you know, since this was kind of a quick review, why don't we just go through all of them? Plus, I'm pretty sure a lot of people look at these videos just to see what cards you get. Usually I do a synopsis of my favorites because the rest of the cards aren't really that special. But in this scenario, since it's such a short review, let's just go through it, you know? Let's go through the cards. Return of the Rune Lords. It's everyone for themselves. When the Munchkins run away from the monsters, everyone who is not in combat draws a face-down treasure, highest to lowest level, roll the die to break ties. Reign of Winter. Fire flame attacks have double their usual combat bonus. Jade Regent. Monsters with green in their illustrations have +5 in this dungeon. That's a pretty fun card. I should put it in my favorites pile. I'm glad I went through the other cards. Reign of Winter. Fire flame attacks have double their usual combat bonuses. Mummy's Mask. Hakutzep Rises. All undead have +5 in combat and are worth 1 extra treasure. Carry On Crown. Munchkins who are wearing headgear have +5 against undead monsters. Council of Thieves. At the start of each turn, the current player rolls the die and applies the appropriate effect. 3 or lower, discard a small item. 4 or higher, draw a face-down treasure. Legacy of Fire. Monsters are immune to fire and flame attacks and give 1 extra treasure if they are killed. Rise of the Rune Lords. Kurzog, Rune Lord of Greed, has returned. Lose your item worth the most gold pieces to the bad stuff of every monster. Wrath of the Righteous. All non-goblin monsters get +5 in combat. War of the Crown. Turmoil and Intrigue. All headgear has an extra +3 bonus, but any player who isn't wearing headgear can, once per turn and only on their turn, try to steal one from another player who is... That needs a punctuation, or, you know, a comma, by discarding a card and rolling the die on a 4 or higher. The theft is successful. You may not try to steal during combat. Skull and Shackles. We be scurvy pirates and we be looking for loot. When you loot the room, draw 2 cards from the same deck. Keep one and discard the other. That's just a cacophony of different accents there. Giant Slayer. Munchkins have +3 against any monster that grants more than 1 level when killed. Strange Aeons. If no one has a class when this dungeon is played, discard it and draw a replacement. Players with no class, or who choose to discard their class, become cultists and may not take another class until they leave this dungeon. Cultists get +2 in combat for each other cultist in the party. If all players become cultists, the game is over and the highest level cultist wins. Kind of reminds me of Munchkin Cthulhu, and that's definitely one I want to pick up, because that's a fun one. So keep that in mind. Alright, now let's do the rest of the portal cards. The Infernal Gate, Welcome to Hell. Draw a new dungeon card and put it into play. Its effects add to those of the dungeons you are in now. In the next fight, you may not gain any benefits from fire flame attacks. Keep this as a reminder until then. Odara? I have no idea. Draw the top dungeon and put it into play. You may discard one other dungeon if you like, so you don't have to. Iron Mountain Gate. Discard all dungeon cards in play and draw a new one to replace them. Roll the die to find out whether this is a portal to heaven or hell. On 3 or lower, lose a level, and on 4 or higher, go up a level. Abyssium Portal. The Dark Tapestry opens. Discard all current dungeons and replace them with the top card of the dungeon deck. You have -5 in your next combat. Keep this as a reminder until then. This is just another Odara card. Didn't we do the Abyssium Portal too? Alright, here's actually a different card. Doorway to the Red Star. Choose any previously discarded dungeon card to put in play. If none have been discarded, draw a new dungeon card instead. Its effects add to those of the dungeons you are in now. Random Campaign Generator. Discard all dungeons in play. Random Campaign Generator. Discard all dungeons in play. Roll the die to find out how many new dungeons to draw. 3 or lower. 1 new dungeon. 4 to 5. 2 new dungeons. 6 or higher. 3 new dungeons. How do you get 6 or higher on a die? Random Campaign Oh, that's the same freaking one. Oh my god. Severian Stone. Severian Stone. Discard all current dungeons. Choose one dungeon from the deck or discards to put into play. Shuffle all the others together to make a new dungeon deck. The Cenotaph. Lose a level as soon as you reveal this portal. Discard all the dungeons in play. Although if there are more than one, you may choose one to stay in play. Draw a new dungeon card and put it in play. Eoxian Gate, wasn't that? Yeah, same thing that I talked about earlier. And the only reason I put this was because it just looked cool. So yeah, so that's the whole pack right there. Overall, you know, did I say the review score? The review score was 3 out of 5, you know, so 6 out of 10 basically. I definitely think you can mix and match and take some stuff out of this and put it in whatever you want, or, you know, just use less dungeons and keep the more interesting ones when you play. But yeah, that's the review. I'd like to just show all the comments that people have left on my videos. I'm really thankful that even though this is kind of a niche thing, we have like a niche following and people are really into it. And people are really excited when it comes out. So yeah, so you know, I would love to get this going on a better schedule. You know, actually get people together to play more. So hopefully I can get you guys a new review. If you want to leave a comment on things that you want to see, it doesn't even have to be Munchkin related. Or if you want to comment saying don't change anything, just keep it with Munchkin. This is Munchkin forever, don't change it. Whatever, just leave a comment if you have any ideas about maybe the next variant of Munchkin that you want to see, or anything else that maybe you want to see that's tabletop related, nerd related, game related, comic related. I wouldn't mind doing some other reviews of, I don't know, not the same exact genres, but similar things that maybe the audience would like. Alright, thank you guys so much. This has been Munchkin Forever. Peace.